Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Mr. Rader and this is economics. We're going to be looking today at part 2 of our cost-benefit analysis matrix for Casey and their dilemma as to whether or not Casey should attend their senior fall formal at Economics High School or go into work at the community clinic. And today we're going to dig a little deeper into some of the economics concepts, namely scarcity, opportunity costs, and trade-offs. So let's get started. So if you remember in part 1 of this two-part series, we looked at the two possible options that Casey has in this scenario, and we looked at the costs and benefits in terms of 4 factors: time, social accolades, health, and money, depending on the decision that Casey makes. What we're going to look at today is the Google slide presentation for this opportunity cost case study and really thinking about what choice Casey should make and how it will affect them. So we've already gone through this part of the introduction where we read the scenario and the dilemma, and we've defined the problem in economics terms. For your reference, the problem that they are really facing in this scenario is an economic problem of scarcity, right, as it relates to time as a limited resource. Therefore, Casey needs to make a choice between their needs and their wants to determine the best possible outcome for them in this scenario. Weighing the different choices involves making trade-offs between what Casey might want and what they might need. So based on what we've read in the opportunity cost case study thus far, some questions that you may want to go over with your teacher is what is really this choice that Casey is faced with, right? Casey has been asked to come into work at the community health clinic, and they have to make this choice as to whether they go to work or to go to the senior fall formal that they've really been looking forward to for weeks. We want to consider how we could restate this dilemma in economic terms and really combine the other economic concepts that you've learned so far, like scarcity, and how it factors into this case study. So to really think about it, first we want to break down what are needs and what are wants, right? So in basic terms, needs are things that we need in order to survive, in order to have happy, productive lives and to improve our quality of life. When we think of wants, these are usually items that we would like to have. We don't really need them in order to function, but we would like to have them. So in this list of examples, some of these items are needs and some of them are wants, right? We have water, food, housing, cars, diamonds, and clothing. So if you look at the first 3 and you're saying to yourself, wait, I think everybody needs water, right, to survive, you're absolutely right. Water is certainly a need. Food is also a need. We need nourishment, we need nutrition in order to be able to live happy and productive lives. We need housing. The next one says cars. This one you may be saying to yourself, well, for me, I need it because I need it for my job. And others may be saying, well, that's really a luxury item. I don't really need it. I can take the bus. I can take the subway. I can walk. I have different options. I live in New York City. There's many things that I can do. So when we look at an item like cars, for some individuals, a car may be a need. For others, it may simply be a want, something that they might want to have to help enrich their own lives, but isn't really something that they need in order to go about their daily routines, right? And that's really one of the big distinguishing factors here. Likewise, diamonds, in many cases, is really a want, and that is actually a commodity that is set in the free market based on supply and demand, which are additional economics concepts that your teacher may have already covered and that we'll cover in future videos. And really, it's based on scarcity, which is really the next concept that is on this slide, because there's only a limited amount of diamonds that exist in the market. So the price that diamonds can get in the market is based on what people are willing to pay or what they're not willing to pay for that item. So it really reflects a want more than a need, right? And then clothing, we need that to protect ourselves from the weather and the elements and things of that nature. When we look at scarcity, so what is this idea of scarcity? Well, in our world, we have a limited number of resources that are available to us. And since things are not unlimited, we have to make choices. So in your class, when you learn about public finance and personal finance, individuals need to make economic decisions, right, in order to hopefully effectively manage scarce resources, right? We have to make choices with what's available to us, hopefully resulting in the outcome that we would like to have for ourselves. An opportunity cost is an economics concept that exists because of scarcity. It reflects the fundamental problem of scarcity. And since our resources are limited, we must make choices between various different outcomes, right? And this can manifest itself in many, many different ways, including in Casey's dilemma. So again, thinking about the choice that Casey is faced with, Casey has to make a decision for what is going to work best for them. Do they go to the senior fall forum, or do they go into work? How might you restate this dilemma in economic terms? Again, considering scarcity, opportunity cost, and trade-offs. So in your independent work, this is based on the cost-benefit analysis matrix that we looked at in part 1 and is also included in day 6 of unit 1 in economics. We want to think about these prompts on the slides to kind of think through what the situation is. So how is the situation an economics problem? Well, I gave you a sentence starter to kind of think through this possibility. So the situation is clearly an economics problem because Casey has to weigh the costs and benefits of their decision. If Casey decides to go into work, they give up X, and if they decide to go to the senior fall formal, they will give up Y. And you just have to identify what X and Y are. And considering what are some of the trade-offs that are involved in each potential choice. So you can click right into this part on the PowerPoint, and you could type in your response for your teacher. Considering with that matrix, what are other alternative choices or options that Casey has not explored? And then really kind of making a decision. So in the next 2 slides, I'm presenting you 2 possible options based on 2 of the articles that were in the annotated bibliography. So if you want to take a moment and pause and read through each response, that would be great. You can see in the first slide, the response is suggesting that Casey should skip the dance and that it will help them think through the outcomes for their life now and their life in the future. And on the second slide, it illustrates the opposing point of view, really thinking through the social emotional well-being for Casey and their lives right now in the present, and really thinking about the opportunity costs of what happens if they decide not to go to the formal. And then in terms of the wrap-up, which will essentially bring you into day 7 with your teacher, really making a decision. So if you were Casey, would you go to the dance? Why or why not?